What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Today I'm going to be bringing my Week 7 college football picks and predictions. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, we've got a top 10 undefeated matchup, number 10 Penn State against number 5 Michigan. This should be a good test for both teams to show which team can really play with Ohio State. Penn State really hasn't played anybody this year. Michigan looks good. Penn State's been barely scraping by, so going to be Michigan big in this one. Next up, we've got number 19 Kansas coming off that loss to TCU against Oklahoma, which looks rough right now under Venables. I don't know if Venables will last the season, to be honest. They got absolutely shellacked by Texas last week. It looks ugly in Oklahoma. Surprisingly, Oklahoma is favored in this game. Give me Kansas, but watch out for Oklahoma in this one. Could be a close one. Next up, we've got Minnesota and Illinois, a matchup of one-loss Big Ten teams. Illinois is ranked for the first time in a while this week, but they haven't really played anybody too tough yet. Their loss to Indiana. Minnesota, their loss to Purdue, and Purdue's only losses are to Syracuse and Penn State, which are two undefeated ranked teams, so give me Minnesota in this one. Next up, we've got another undefeated top 10 matchup. Number 3 Alabama against number 6 Tennessee. Tennessee looked good last week against LSU. I've been skeptical on them up to this point, but last week really proved to me they can play. Alabama, they've looked sketchy all year, but they keep winning. I'm kind of skeptical on Alabama. I'm not sure how to feel on this team, but until they lose, I got to roll with the tide. Give me Alabama. Next up, we got another undefeated top 25 matchup. Top 2 ranked Big 12 teams. Number 8 Oklahoma State and number 13 TCU. TCU coming off that win against Kansas. Oklahoma State coming off that win over Texas Tech. Both these teams have looked good so far this year. TCU's offense can go. Oklahoma State, similar to Alabama, they haven't looked the best this year, but they keep winning. So give me Oklahoma State in a close one. Next up, we've got a big ACC matchup. Number 15, NC State against number 18, Syracuse. Syracuse is undefeated. NC State has only lost to Clemson. The score was semi-close in that Clemson game, but it was never really in doubt. NC State's quarterback got hurt in that last game, so give me Syracuse in this one. Next up, we've got what could be an interesting matchup. Florida State's got 2 losses. They barely lost that game last week. Clemson, they've looked pretty dominant this year. They look like a playoff team again. Give me Clemson big in this one. Next up, we've got Mississippi State and Kentucky, a matchup of top 25 SEC teams. This game really rides on Will Levis. If he doesn't play, I think Mississippi State wins this one. They've looked good. Will Rogers is rolling. But if Will Levis plays, which I think he will, give me Kentucky in this one. Will Levis, he's looked good so far this year. As of right now, he's projected to be the first quarterback taken off the board next year. Give me Kentucky. Next up, we've got an interesting matchup of top 25 Pac-12 teams. USC, undefeated so far. They've struggled a little bit in some games, but they keep winning. Utah, before the season started, I thought Utah would be a playoff team, I'll be honest. They've lost 2 games so far to Florida in the swap, and they lost last week to UCLA. This game could be an interesting one. I'm not 100% sure which way this will go. It's in Utah. Give me the Utes in this one. I'm calling the upset. And last but not least, we've got Washington State and Oregon State, a matchup of 4 and 2 Pac-12 teams. Surprisingly, Oregon State is favored in this one. They played with USC a little bit a few weeks ago, but give me Washington State in this one. Cameron Rising looks good. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That way when I post more content, you'll be the first one to know about it. So until next time, AG, out.